Hi, this is designer Lynn Ghahary back with another Create Today video for you. Today we're going to be creating a card using new products from Basic Gray. This is the Konnichiwa collection from Basic Gray, so we're going to be using some papers from the 6x6 pad as well as some stickers from the element sheets that you can find in the 12x12 collection pad. In particular, we're going to be using these two little koi fish stickers here. We're also going to be using a sketch from Becky Fleck. This sketch can be found in the brand new Card Maps Today 2 special issue, which is now available on scrapbooks.com. I really liked this sketch because I loved the way that this circle element was here in the middle and kind of brought focus to the center of the card. We're going to be sticking to this sketch pretty close to the way it looks. What we're going to do is we're actually going to cut out this this center portion here, and we're going to have our embellishments on the inside of the card. So it'll be something different, and let's get started. So the first thing I did is I created a card base. This is craft cardstock, and this is actually some Basic Gray paper as well. It's not from the Konnichiwa collection. I think this is actually from an older collection. I think it's Nook and Pantry, but I really loved it. It's brown and it goes with the colors in the collection that we're using. Our card is 5x5 square. And what I did is, you can't really see it on camera, but I actually came in here and I drew some very light pencil marks about 1/2 inch in on each side. We're going to use that for placement of our circle so we can be sure that we get our circle right in the center of our card. I'm going to put this off to the side. We're also going to be using these patterns around our circle. And what I did was I used a Spellbinders die to cut out these circles. This is the die that I used. Let me give you a quick measurement here, just in case you want to follow along at home. So it looks like the inside of the circle is 3 3/4. Okay, so if you can see on the sketch here, it looks like there's 4 different patterns coming around this circle, you know, and there's a width of each pattern showing. So this is how I figured out how to make this, this type of design work for me. So the first thing I did was I cut my circles, and then with this pink one, if you can see, I'm not sure, I went ahead and I drew a center mark in the middle here. I just measured in from each side and drew the center mark. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out, what I want is just basically 1/4 of this circle. So I'm going to go ahead and, to save some time, I'm going to try to cut through all 4 of these at the same time. So I might have to make multiple cuts just to make sure I'm getting through all the papers. But I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and I have basically 1/4 of each of the patterns that I'm using, and I also cut out the same size circle in a craft cardstock. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adhere these quarters around this circle with some adhesive. Okay, now that I have these all adhered, I'm just going to tell you right now, they may or may not match up perfectly in the middle there. Mine don't exactly match up, but I'm not too concerned about that because what we really are going to use is just the outer portion. So it doesn't matter that these are not perfectly symmetrical here because we're going to cut that out. Now let me show you what we're going to do and how we're going to do that. I have another Spellbinders die. This one is smaller than the one that I used. This one, I'll give you a measurement, is 3 inches. So this one was 3 3/4 and this one is 3 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this here in the middle and I'm going to use some masking tape. If you ever want to use a die and you want to get it in a specific portion of the paper or the project that you're using, masking tape is a great thing to use because it comes off of paper easily, and you can even just kind of do that on your skin. It'll take out some of the stick and you'll be able to take it off your project easier. So I am just going to go ahead and use a little masking tape to hold this in place. I'm going to move my stuff out of the way so I can bring in my big shot here. Okay. Slip that in there. And now you just want to carefully remove the die and the masking tape. And if you didn't get adhesive on all of the parts, like I didn't obviously, it might come off a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Like this one here, obviously I did not get adhesive on that portion, so I'll go ahead and fix that. Okay, so now we have this circle here, and this is what we're going to use on our card design. Now, like I said, we are going to actually cut out the middle here. So for placement, again, this is 4 inches on the outside, 3 3/4 on the inside. I'm going to just place this in here for now. So I see where what I'm trying to do is figure out exactly where I want my other die. Seems a little backwards, but it works. Now I'm going to come back in here with this die. Okay, so this is where I want this one cut out. And now I'm going to run this through my Sizzix again. Now remember, you want to only run it through this front portion. Don't put your card in like this to your Sizzix. You want this part to remain solid, and you just want to cut through this section here. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. Now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to carefully again take this away. Okay, it looks like it didn't cut all the way through, so I'm just going to come back in here with my X-Acto. Okay, so now I just had to go back in there. For some reason it didn't cut all the way through. I just went back in there with my X-Acto. But now you can see what we are doing here. We have from the sketch, this inner portion here is actually cut out of our card here. And now I'm going to take this here and I'm going to adhere it. Let me just decide. I think I want the red on top, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I've adhered the outer portion. Again, if you look at the sketch, that was the 4 patterned papers that are shown here. That's what we've gone ahead and done. I'm going to come in here now with my eraser. I'm going to erase, actually, first before I do that, rather, I'm going to take, this is a little trick. I'm going to take, this is my large spellbinders that I use. This was what I used on the outside to make this circle. And I'm actually going to use it along with my white pen. And I'm going to use it to make some dashed lines. I don't know about you, but I have trouble making curved lines sometimes. So this is a little cheat that I use. I will use my spellbinders, especially when I want to make circles. I'll use them as kind of a tracing template. Okay, so now we have basically the outside of the card is finished. I'm going to let that white ink dry a little bit before I go ahead and erase my pencil lines. But now we're going to work on the inside of the card. So I have chosen this blue patterned paper for the inside of our card, and I'm just going to come in here, I'm going to adhere it down, and then I'll trim off the excess. Okay, so now you can see how this blue patterned paper peeks through this hole that we've created in the center of our card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these little koi fish stickers and I'm going to adhere them in the center here with some dimensional adhesive. Okay, so you can see that our koi fish now are, if you could see that up close, they've got some dimension. They're kind of hanging out outside this circle frame that we've created in the center of our card. And what we're going to do is we're almost done. I'm going to just add a rub-on sentiment down here at the bottom. I have some, these are pretty old, these are some rub-on sentiments from Melissa Francis. I like this one here that says, "Thanks for being my friend." And I looked up online, I wanted to know exactly what koi fish stand for. And I got a few different answers from Wikipedia. Definitely, you know, I read it means good luck, it means family, it means love. So I think that this friend sentiment, especially since there's two koi fish, is very appropriate. So I want to try to put this as close to the bottom as possible because I don't want it to show through when I close my card. So let me just double check. Perfect. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my rub-on tool from Basic Gray and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere the rub-on. These rub-ons, they're old, but I really love them because they go on so easily and they have the best script. It looks as if you wrote it yourself. Now I'm just going to come back in here and I'm going to erase my pencil lines. Again, you probably can't see them on camera, but I used them just to give me a few guides when I was placing my circles. And there you go. If we take a look at the sketch again, you can see we kept our card pretty close to the sketch. Again, instead of a sentiment on the outside of our card with this embellishment in the center, we took it a step further. We cut the hole in the center of our card using our Spellbinders dies so that when someone go ahead and open the card, they still see the embellishment there as well as the sentiment on the bottom. And of course, you can just address to who it's for and the date up here. I really hope that you enjoyed today's edition of Create Today. For more information, please visit the Scrapbook and Cards Today website. Thank you.